Hey there, guys. This is Michael White for Friday's live stream. This one's going to be a special one. It's just me today, but hopefully, you guys share the same amount of love. So, honestly, it's going to be an interesting one. Let's get those likes up, let's get the shares up, and we have a great conversation ahead of us. So, let's get it up, giving you guys the music, positive energy, some great vibes, and we're gonna have a banging conversation. So let's get into it. Let's get those likes up, guys. Let's get the views up, the likes up. As you guys know, we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and none of that's gonna happen without you guys. You guys have been so supportive, so positive, so uplifting, loving the content. And I just want to make sure that we continue to deliver content worthy of yours only. So let's give it some time. We're going to get those likes up, and we're going to give you a banging podcast. Okay, so let's get today's show started. I wish we had a buzzer noise, but let's get today's show started, guys. With that being said, the repercussions of being a nice guy, which is it's something that no guy should be doing. Now, this episode is very special because it's inspired by a friend. Her name is Melissa. She inspired me with this episode because, I talk with her here and there, and, we have interesting conversations. And she actually showed me like some in her stories, actually. Sorry for the stuttering. Mine's going a million miles a minute. But she actually showed me her stories of some of these dudes that were sliding in the DMs being super simps.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And I'm watching her story, and I'm seeing these guys, and literally they are just commenting, and she's not even replying. Commenting. And it's funny because it was like two different guys. And I want to help guys understand that the more nice you are to a woman, the more you repel her away. Now, I'm not saying you have to be an asshole. We're not advocating that. You can be a good man with standards and boundaries, but when you're overly nice like that and you're overly pursuing, girls do this. And they run the other way because it's a turn off for them. You think that you're turning them on when you're turning them off, right? And in her mind, she's literally sitting there thinking,
stop it. Get some help.
Because no guy should be overly pursuing a woman. You shoot your shot. If she rejects it, you move on to the next girl, right? You deal with women who are reciprocative. If she is not reciprocative, that is a clear sign of lack of interest. And it is never your job to build up a woman's interest. Let me say that again, guys. It is not your job to build up a woman's interest, because every time you do, you're being laughed at. Like, and you're never going to be taken serious. Never. By a woman. So nice guy syndrome is literally you thinking that you have to show up, be this overly nice guy. Like literally, like you feel like you have to impress this woman by giving her flowers, gifts, bunch of comments, likes, like just overly attentive. And you think that if you just break her down just enough, that she is going to reciprocate or she's going to want to go out with you. Now, it only goes two ways, and they're both not good ways. Number one is you keep overly pursuing her, and eventually she like blocks, deletes you because she's like, this guy, he's not making me feel safe. He's not making me feel good. Right? So you repel her into the area of you being a creep. Right? Number two is she'll keep you around for the validation to say, oh, thanks. Like the messages will always be short and sweet. It will never be like engaging and fun. It'll always be short and sweet. Number three is she might sleep with you, but it's like out of pity. It's not out of desire. It's because maybe there's no other guys around. Maybe one day you just happened to catch her on that day when she's feeling a little freaky, and she's just like, you know what? He's been here. He's been pursuing me. Let me just kind of give him a shot. But it's never genuine, because you've noticed that when women do that, when you're like her third option, she ends up not even calling after, or she ends up regretting hooking up with you. And that's a terrible thing within itself. So what I want to advocate for men to do is kill the nice guy. Stop feeling like you have to impress women, right? Who she should be impressed by is who you are. If she is not impressed with your character, how you conduct yourself, how you move on. Run. Do this. And exit her life. Don't stay in her life. Don't be a placeholder. You see, a man who respects himself will never be a placeholder for a woman. He will not, because he respects himself too much to say, look, if she doesn't want me, cool. He keeps it moving on to other areas, other women, puts it into the gym, puts it into his business, focuses on things that are actually like only going to elevate his life. But we have to ask yourself, where does nice guy syndrome come from? A lot of nice guy syndrome comes from men being raised in single parent households without a father around. That's one detriment. Another detriment comes from he listens to a lot of female advice, right? And I hate to say it, girls don't know how to pick up girls because they're not men, right? So they don't know how to pick up another girl as a man. So you don't talk to the fish on how to catch other fish. You talk to the fisherman, right? And we've all heard that saying. So where a lot of guys get this nice guy syndrome is they will talk to girls, girlfriends, their mom, and ask them and try to figure out, well, how do I get girls? And what is the usual answer? Oh, be nice to them. Give them compliments. Give them comments. Take them out on dates. Do all those romantic, genuine, nice things, which are all important and good things. They are. They're not bad things. But the thing that they leave out is to only do that with a woman who is reciprocative, right? So they tell you, oh, she's just playing hard to get. Keep pursuing her. Eventually, she'll change her mind. Hard to get for what? If a woman really likes you, she doesn't make it easy. She makes it easy for you to catch her. She doesn't make it difficult. When you send her messages or you text and you call, she makes it very easy for you to get close to her. So if this woman that you're interested in is not making it easy and she's being very difficult, it's just she doesn't know how to tell you that she doesn't like you. She doesn't know how to tell you that she's not interested. Women are indirect. They would rather show you signs that they're not interested instead of just tell you that they are not interested, right? So as a guy, you have to be able to pick up on the telltale signs to be like, this girl's not feeling me like that. Let me leave her alone and go find another woman that is. But because you've been indoctrinated so much with like female knowledge, attention, talking to other women, all those other things, you've always ran with the narrative, or guys in general, that that's going to work. That being the Mr. Nice Guy is going to get me the girl of my dreams. And I'm here to tell you it's not, because I used to be that guy. I wish I had a story time button to say, let's jump into dreamland. But this, like who I am today, I built this. The character, the mindset, the how I calculate myself and move. I had to create all this because I had to kill the nice guy side in me. There was a nice guy side in me, literally. We'll do some story time that would, and I'm, again, if you guys want to laugh, you want to laugh. I was the nice guy. I was so nice that I would have like girlfriends that I would hang out with. And this was like in high school. I would say about like middle school, right? I had a girlfriend and I would hang out with her, right? And she's like, can you just walk me home? Yeah, sure, no problem. I'll walk her home. She's like, I just got to make a pit stop, right? And it was like to another guy's house, right? And me being the king simp that I was, I'm like, I'll wait for you right here. So I waited 2 hours for her to get a book, quote unquote, and come back out so I could walk her home. So literally, I waited outside this guy's house for just 2 hours, just sat on the bench, talked to other people that walked by, until this person finished with this person. Now, obviously, it doesn't take 2 hours to get a book. You know what they were doing in there. But I was such a king simp because I'm like, well, I get to walk her home at the end of the day. I get to take her home. Yeah, but he's the one, you know what I mean, getting quality time, like real quality time. And I never killed that beta male simp part inside me because as I grew up, I was like, okay, that's how you win women over. That's how you get them. And trust me, with that attitude, I never won. Like, yeah, I might have got some girls here and there, but like it never stuck. They'd stick around for 3 months, 8 months, but like nothing serious, right? And even in my teen years, this is why you got to kill the Mr. Being Nice Guy, because even in my 20s, when I hit my 20s, I was still doing the same behaviors, but it was just like different. I wouldn't tell women how I really felt. I was very passive. I was very just like, oh, like we have a good time. I could never take charge or take the lead. Right. And then you could see it with the women that I was dealing with. They're like, he's a nice guy, but so they never fully respected me because as soon as you say but like in a sentence, it's like the first things that you said have all gone away. Right. So what happens is for when a woman respects you, she's just like, I respect that man, period. There's no like, I respect him, but. So I was always chasing the love part and never the respect part, right? So I would allow so much toxic behaviors to roll by. And me being the man, I wouldn't say anything. I'm like, let's just be passive. Let's not rock the boat. Let's let everything okay. And I'm telling you this, guys, when you have this attitude of being passive, not taking charge, not exerting your boundaries, you don't get the girls you want. Let me say that again. You don't get the girls you want. I was lucky in some senses I did, but it was never like genuine. It was like, oh, like kind of like pity. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'll fool around with him type thing. Or like I would get lucky sometimes just based off my looks, right? But once they got to know me and everything and they saw like this guy's very docile, he's very passive, yo, they were out the door to Chad. Like no joke. They were off to Chad. the football player, the soccer player, the guy that slept around with a lot of women. And every time I'm sitting here, I'm like, man, girls are coming in and out of my life like a rotational door. Like, no joke. This was Sparta. Like,
This is Sparta!
Girls were just coming in and out of my life. And I never could figure out why. I can never sit there and process and say, ooh, something needs to change. So honestly, it wasn't until my mid 30s. This is why I'm telling you guys. I'm going to give you guys, I'm telling you guys on how to kill the nice guy part of you. And then we're going to talk about how to behave after once you've killed the nice guy. So even in my 30s, it still existed because there were some women that I've dated that I had no business dating. And there were certain circumstances within those relationships that I still said, you know what? She likes me. Instead of just being a man and being like, no. She might like me, but it doesn't mean we're a good fit for each other. She might like me, but I'm not comfortable in X, Y, and Z. Right? And so within these relationships, I let it slide. And trust me, still ended up losing the girl. Right? So after all of those heartbreaks, I had to do a reset. I had to say, well, who is Michael White? What does he stand for? And why isn't he enforcing his boundaries? Why isn't he being a man of substance? Why isn't he being a man of valor? Why isn't he being a man that actually stands on his principles? Why? Because I believed in the nice guy syndrome. And when you're a nice guy, it's fake. Women can see right through the nice guy syndrome because it's not genuine. You want to be a good man. A good man can still be nice to a woman while still exerting his boundaries. That's the type of man you want to be, because if you're a nice guy, what you end up doing is putting women on a pedestal. You believe women can do no wrong. And you're literally a docile little puppy. So she only comes to you when she wants to pet you, maybe feed you, or just have you cuddle up in the bed with her. But other than that, there's not like a genuine burning desire for you. And that's why I tell guys, be a good man. Stop using the term, I'm a nice guy. Be a good man. A good man is willing to tell a woman, look, I'm not comfortable with your behavior, or I don't commit to this. And they're willing to walk away if necessary. No matter how deep the attachment is, they are willing to walk away to say, this doesn't work for my life. Because what a man needs to figure out, and women love to serve men that they like. So you need to figure out how she fits into your life. Just like women have categories for men, they do. Oh, he's a friend. He's a work friend. He's a guy I used to sleep with. Women hate it that men have categories for women because women don't like to be disqualified from the men that they like. Right? So with that being said, guys only have two categories, right? Women have multiple ones. Guys have two. You're either going to be a woman that he just wants to have fun with, or a woman he's going to want to commit with, a woman he's going to want to commit to. And for the nice guys, you end up in like the friend category. Like in one of a woman's multiple categories, you end up falling into one of them, but not the one where she's like, this is a guy I want to serve. This is a guy I can trust his leadership. This is a guy that, for the next 40 years, I would do 40 years with him, have his babies, and marry him. That's how you want a girl to feel about you. And when you're a nice guy, she doesn't have those feelings. Because think about the guys that majority of women are chasing. Are they bad guys? Some of them. Are they not so good guys? They're not. But if we're being honest, if you're doing all the compliments, the liking on the IG photos, asking her out, pretty much just full on simping. But the guy that's not doing none of those things, like barely giving her any attention, barely giving her any time, those are the guys that she's like, I want a text from him. I want his time and energy. You know why? Because he respects himself. He respects his time. He puts value on his time. And nice guys don't, because nice guys, their whole world evolves around a woman. That's where a lot of them are falling short. Their whole life evolves around a woman. It's like, well, bro, don't you have work? Don't you have goals? Don't you have dreams? Don't you have all these other things that you want to do? But you're too busy sitting here letting your world evolve around a woman. And I would say that is
emotional damage.
And you should go and get therapy. Now, there's no shame in therapy, but you should go and get therapy and have that looked at, because if you want the woman of your dreams, I don't even have the woman of my dreams because I'm constantly working on myself, but I want to position myself in a way where it's like I can actually want the girls. How do I say this? That I actually want the girls that I want, instead of just getting the girls that you don't want. You know what I mean? Like, I want a girl to look at me and say, damn, that is a good man. He's obviously done the work on himself. Clearly, he went from this to this. You know, he went from fan to rock star. And, you know, I want to be his main chick. Not saying I'm going to have multiple women, but I want to be his girl. And that's why I believe that men should do the work. Now, that's just not only on the financial side, because it's super important to have strong finances, especially if you're building a family unit. You know what I mean? Because again, if you're not, and that's a whole nother conversation, of course, it threatens the woman's security, but you should definitely work on your mind. You should work on your body. And you should have goals and dreams. Your girl should value the time that she gets with you. The fact that, like, let's say you're always spending time with her, it's like, how is she going to value it? It's not scarce. If she's like, wow, I only get to see this guy like once a week and I'm going to make it count. That should be your main focus in doing it that way. So the question that we're all asking on this live stream, and thank you for viewing in, guys, is, if I'm not supposed to be a nice guy, who am I supposed to be? As I said, a good man. So you're nice to everybody. You're respectable. You're genuine. You're a gentleman. But they know inherently that if I cross this man's boundaries, he's going to let me know. If I'm rude or disrespectful towards him, he is going to let me know. And if the behavior continues, he will walk away from me. Because I'm telling you, when somebody knows that you operate that way, they are less likely to test your boundaries, because they know that, like, man, if I do this to this man and act rude and crass or whatever the behavior is, he will literally leave me without even blinking an eye. So if you've ever noticed, women usually test guys that they're not too sure about. But guys that they're sure about, they don't test those guys because they understand the boundaries. So, guys, what did we learn in today's live stream? Being a nice guy doesn't get you to the finish line. You hang out in the bushes. That's what being a nice guy gets you. You don't get the prize. You get nothing. You get a nice little cute consolation prize that says, ribbon, nice guy. But you don't get like the main prize, like at a fair, like a teddy bear or something of worth. So I always try to tell guys, kill the beta inside, because you know why? It ends up also being damaging, because what you end up doing is, because you're constantly rejected, and life's full of rejections, I might add, because you do grow from them. But a lot of guys end up becoming resentful towards the opposite sex, towards women. They end up hating women. They actually do end up becoming misogynist, some of them. Not all men, but I'm saying some do, because they put on the persona or the Superman cape of being a nice guy all the time. And because they never get the girl and they see Chad get the girl all the time, they're sitting there and then they start venting on the internet. They start doing malicious behavior because they're not getting the women they want. They're frustrated. So that's why you have channels like mine and many other channels that are helping dudes say, hey, like, this is why you need to get rid of this. And hopefully our channel could fit into that group of helping men kill the nice guy side of them, the beta side of them, so they're not doing beta behavior, always DMing a girl in her DMs. You know what I mean? Or just buying them gifts, or just giving compliments all the time, and literally disrespecting himself all the time, guys, because you don't have to get angry. If a girl doesn't reply to you on Instagram, or she doesn't get back to you, and a friend said this to me once. I didn't like when he said it, but I understood it. She doesn't see you as valuable. That's what it is. She doesn't deem you valuable enough, because if it was a guy that, if she deemed you valuable, trust me, she wants to hear from you. If she deems you as a man of value. If she's stringing you along, doesn't reply to your text, leaves you on red, anytime you ask her to hang out, there's an excuse, the cat got stuck in a tree or something, she doesn't value you. You haven't shown her enough value to say, this is a guy I want to be in his space. I want to be around him. I want his time. And you don't have to take it personally, because not every woman is going to see you as a man of value. That's why I said, if you at least level yourself up, you increase your options, right? Like, I'm not just saying you're going to run around here flashing money, but character. Women do like men with money. It obviously is a form of security, but they fall in love with character. Because you could be a man with money, but you could be a clown. You could be a goof, right? So she'll only stay with you for your money. So that's why I'm saying that if you focus on building a strong character, being a man of passion, you'll hear some women say, that man's boring. I've been called boring before, because again, I'm different because I love my passions. So for some women, that's too much. They want a 9-to-5 guy, and that's it. So you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. You're just not. But all that matters is the women that do like you, not the ones that don't. So look, guys, I want you to understand this. Killing the nice guy is going to take some time. It took me at least almost a year. And sometimes it still comes up. And I have to kill it. Sometimes I have to say, yo, stop that. Or I have brothers say, stop that, man. You're simping again. Stop. Because we get so caught up in a woman's looks or how she treats us. It's like, stop. Kill the beta. You worked so hard to kill the beta part of you. Stop. So literally, men, what I want you to take away from this live stream is stop getting angry at women. Stop. Be a man of emotional control. Be a man of stoicism. We don't need any more men out here acting a fool, sliding in girls' DMs, simping after them on some crazy levels, thinking he's going to change her mind. Do you think the man of her dreams has to convince her of anything? No, because she already sees the value in him. He doesn't have to convince her of anything. So you sitting there, jumping in the DMs, liking all her photos, doing all of this extra stuff gets you nowhere, gets you burned out, gets you broke, and gets you resentful. And we're not here for that. As men, we're here to uplift each other, and we're here to help men win. That's what I want to do. That's what plenty of other channels do. And so, men, you need to be responsible of figuring out how a woman fits into your life and how receptive she is to you, right? So those are all key indicators that you should pay attention to. But like, as I said, killing the nice guy is going to take time. It's going to take mental capacity. It's going to take strong willpower. And it's also going to be able for you to educate yourself. Read books, guys. Watch podcasts. Think about it. If you're not getting the results that you're looking for, that's on you. That's a you thing. So I know myself, I actually had to address me. I had to heal. I had to read some books on masculinity, Way of the Superior Man, No More Nice Guy, reading books and understanding, oh, wow, this is why my relationship slipped here. This is why my relationship fell here, right? Because I was too much of a nice guy. And when I jump, I'm telling you guys this, when you jump from a nice guy to a good guy, you're going to lose some friends. You're going to lose some friends. You're going to lose like some stuff. Why? Because you've evolved and people are not used to it. You've become a better version of yourself and you're always striving to be a better person, like a better version of yourself. And sometimes you got to leave some stuff at the wayside. And sometimes that's people because they're not going to like who you've become. They're going to say, you've changed, you've grown, you've done this. You're not like one of the boys anymore. You know what I mean? Of course, because there's a certain life that you want to have. You want to get the girls you want to get. And you can't do that by staying the same. And I know it sucks to hear because I suffered with that. You know what I mean? It's like, it was so easy being comfortable that being comfortable became an excuse. And it shouldn't be. You shouldn't be afraid to evolve yourself to lose a friend or girls. And I had to make that decision last year. I had to let like 2 women go because I was so docile. I should have just asked them out instead of just playing the long game and being their friends. I would probably be in a sturdy relationship if I did that. If I said, hey, look, I find you attractive. Because again, you want to do something about your attractiveness. If you're attracted to someone, you don't want to sit there and just be attracted. So you want to say, hey, look, I obviously find you very attractive. I want to get to know you. Is there any way that we can go for dinner, breakfast, or whatever it is? Right? And you shoot your shot. And if she says, you know what? I've always found you attractive too. Let's go out for dinner. Let's go out for breakfast. Boom. Done. If she says, I'm not really feeling you like that, or hey, let's be friends. No, I'm good. Thank you. You know, I'm not looking for any more friends. I'm looking for something serious. I'm out. You can keep it moving. You don't have to take it personally. And that's where you have to disconnect your emotions. Stop taking it so personally. And don't be afraid to shoot your shot. Now, I understand in 2023, you're a little afraid. Women say, well, I'm scared. You know, he might sound scary or whatever. So a lot of guys are not approaching girls anymore. They're like, no, man, like I'm not trying to get a grape case or you know, anything like that. So all I'm saying, guys, is look, kill the beta, kill the nice guy, and put on a new persona, one that you could feel proud of. You know what I mean? And this is where dealing with your trauma comes in, because when you get overly attached, when you have codependency issues, when you are reliant on somebody, especially a woman, they sense that. And once they sense that, they automatically see this guy would not be a good husband or a good boyfriend. Because how are you useful to her if you're asking her for direction? If she wants to look up to you, but you're looking at her and what to do, how are you useful to her? You're not. So it is something to think about, as I said, about being a man of principles, standing on those principles and not breaking those principles for any woman. And it's hard sometimes, guys. I understand. We get caught up. You see a beautiful looking woman. For me, my weakness is light skinned girl. I see a beautiful light skinned girl, I'm cracking in the knees. Or a woman who's fit, feminine, friendly. You know, I'm going to struggle. But now I'm learning with my frame that it's like the exterior is great, cool, I love it. But what's more important is the sustenance, who she is, her character, all those other things. And I don't want to bring to her a weaker version. You know, if she tells me I got this going on in my life, I'm here and here, and then think about it, like you're some guy, you're a brokey, you don't have money, you're fat, you're overweight, you know, you're not trying to fix anything. What value are you going to add to that woman's life? Zero. So why should she give you a chance? She shouldn't. It's bad for her going forward to invest into a man that is not properly calibrated or like not in good positions to add her any value, not just conversations, but like protecting her finances, like all those type of things. It's the same thing for a man. Ladies, why is a man going to want to invest into you if you don't bring him peace? Why is he going to want to invest into you if you're very combative and disagreeable and you don't jump on his program? You know, you're coming here with being a boss babe and all that other stuff. Yo, that guy's he's running the other way. And then you think that you're still going to win. And this goes for both guys and girls, because I always just tell them this.
Good luck with that.
Good luck with that. We don't deserve anything in this world. Everything is earned. So that means that if you're dealing with the opposite sex, you have to show some level of inherent value for that person to want to include you into their life, and vice versa. Because if you don't show a level of inherent value, you're going to get excluded out of their life as quickly as possible. Right? So the job is not to impress. The job is to feel confident in who you are. Obviously, exude some level of value. Maybe it's through your passions. Maybe it's through how you speak. Maybe it's just through how you conduct yourself. All of those things, your magnetism, build up your confidence. Telling you, things change. When you change your body, your life changes. Women might look at you a little different, but the last thing you want to do is not be building up your body and a woman talks to you and you have no game. You can't talk to her. You can't look her in the eye. You're not direct. She'll be like, yeah, he's a nice body, but he's as dumb as a bag of rocks. You know what I mean? So you have to be able to work on your body, work on having some game and being confident, just overall confidence. Definitely working on your money, because you don't want the girl to find out that you got the confidence, you got the body, but your money game is weak, because she'll be like, damn, like he's leaning on me financially. Doesn't work. But it goes vice versa again for women. You know, if a guy is protecting you, taking care of you, there for you, does all the things that a man is supposed to do, right? And he says, hey, babe, like, can you cook me a sandwich? And you say no. It's like, he's like, I didn't sign up for this. You know what I mean? Or he's out there fighting the world for his goals and his dreams and trying to achieve to become something great. He's already out fighting a war with the world. Do you think he wants to come home and fight a war with you too? But then you're sitting here wondering why you're not getting chosen. And saying, well, I'm great, I should just get chosen. It doesn't work that way. You don't get to just say, well, I should just get chosen just because. Because of what? Now you sound entitled. Now you sound like you just deserve things just because. No, you put in the work in your character and like obviously building up your life. And through that is your inherent value. Think about it. When you build up the inside, you build up your mind and you build up all those things, it only manifests on the outside. You know, you're able to get money and see opportunities. You build your body very well. You're very calibrated when it comes to talking to men and women, and you conduct yourself in very healthy ways. You're not easily moved emotionally. A lot of people are, men, women, they're easily moved. Things trigger them and all these other things. They don't know how to hold frame. They don't know how to be stoic, especially on the men's side. Women are overly emotional because they're just naturally built that way. But like if a woman has a handle on her emotions, very attractive quality. So with all that being said, I appreciate the people that have tuned into this live stream. We're going to be going live next week, guys. Be there for Reaction Mondays and Reaction Wednesdays. And as I said, man, help us get to 1,000 subscribers. We want you guys to attend our celebration party. Once we hit that 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, Instagram, wherever it is, and we hit that, we're just literally going to have a celebration party where you can ask questions. We're going to tell stories. We're going to talk about where the podcast is going next. Because our goal, as I've always said before I wrap up the show, is not to give you advice, right? I love giving advice personally. I do. But our goal is just to help. We're either going to expose your relationship or enhance it. your friendships, or whatever it is. That's all we're doing. And how we're doing that is through conversations and experience, right? And through a little bit of a thing called facts. But that's all we're doing. So if you're here to, oh, I want dating advice. No, what we're going to do is if you come to us with a solution or a problem, we're going to look at it, we're going to attack it, and we're either going to enhance the relationship that you have or it's going to get exposed. It's just really up to you at the end of the day. And so, yeah, please, guys, like, share, subscribe. Help us get to that 1,000. We know who the people are who are liking the content and subscribing to it. We love you. We respect you. This is a community. We also actually have a private community, actually, that is in the link down below where you guys can leave your questions. We have a Facebook group. I think there's a couple members in there. If you guys want to leave your questions or be a guest on the podcast, write it in the Facebook group. Email us. We're looking for guests to be on our podcast to talk about their relationships as a man, as a woman, how you've grown, how you've evolved, or even if there's just certain topics that you feel very passionate about that you want to talk about, our doors are open. You just got to walk through them. So with that being said, I will see you on Monday for Reaction Mondays. All right. So we'll see you guys soon and take care.